Okay, so the video is going to be a makeup tutorial using the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm so excited to use this. I can't wait to get my brush into these. I'm so excited. And before I get started, I just want to do one thing, and I want to say, Dani, thank you so much. And she'll know what that's about. Okay, I wanted to do a look for you guys. I wanted to do something that's a little bit different and outside of the box for me, but I think it's wearable. I think it's fun. And yeah, before I get started though, two things. First of all, this is my pure hydrogel lift that I've been putting under my eyes. I have made quite a dent in this. I love this stuff. You can see that it's uneven where I've been putting it under my eyes. Guys, this stuff is awesome. I have discovered something though. It's really good to put on after, like, if you get your makeup off and you've got your face clean, you got to do all your serums and all your skincare at night before you go to bed. If it's a little while before you actually find the bed, then what I want you to do is I want you to use this before you go to bed at night if you have it. And then I also grab it and I use it first thing in the morning. So I've been keeping this on my nightstand and I'm not using it underneath my makeup. And the reason for that is this. I have found, and I think that anybody would tell you, that the more products you put under your eyes, the cakier they're going to look. And I've just found that this stuff, as awesome as it is, it just doesn't perform perfectly for me when I put it under my eyes as I'm doing my makeup. It just is another layer, and it's very emollient, and it seems to catch the makeup, my foundation, my powder, all those things, and I'm trying to get rid of that look. So I just thought I would update you on that. Now I wanted to show you something else. If you follow my Snap story, you know that I've had a rough 2 days, and so my eyes have been super swollen. They are still pretty swollen right in here, but guys, I have been trying out this iDuty triple remedy from First Aid Beauty. It's the one that has like the little iron thing on it, and the product comes out here. You only need a teeny tiny bit of it, and what you do is you kind of squirt it out, and then you turn it over and you use this to massage that under your eyes. And today I even did it on my upper lids to see if it would help. Guys, this stuff is it's awesome. I mean, it really did help. I don't know if what it has in it that creates such a, First Aid Beauty is an excellent brand, so I don't know what's in it that makes it work so well, but I'm going to tell you, it took down a tremendous amount of swelling in my eyes, because when I look at myself now, I can actually see a crease. Even though it's a hooded lid, I can see my crease, and before I used it, I couldn't even see that. So it has made a difference, there's no doubt. So if you have only mild puffiness, but it's still bothersome to you, I think that would really do you right. Okay, what I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to use my Fresh Sugar Lip Balm. This stuff is awesome. I'm going to use this so that I have moisturized lips while I'm doing my makeup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start today with my Scandinavia Primer Spray. Shake it up just a little bit. That's what you're supposed to do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'm going to put this on lightly because I really don't need a tremendous amount of hold, but I'm kind of going through all the steps for you guys so you see what I'm doing. It actually is pretty refreshing. It has a nice mild scent, and I really like that. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to use tape today. I haven't done that in a tutorial in a long time, but I'm going to do that because the colors that I'm using today, I don't want them to get out of hand, and they're very pigmented, beautiful colors, but I don't want them to kind of get away from me. So yeah, we're going to be doing a couple of new things today that I've not really ever done on my channel. So yeah, we're going to start with the eyes, of course. I'm just going to put this on the corner of my eye right there. Actually, it needs to be at a different angle than that. That's more like it. You want the top of the tape to hit where the tail of your brow is. My brow is very, very sparse right here. I don't know if you can see just how sparse my brows are, but yeah, it needs to kind of hit in that area there. And this will help us get a nice straight line. And today I am going for that dramatic effect of a nice straight line. When I do this, sometimes I do blend it out just a little bit, just to get the corner, upper corner and that bottom corner kind of a little bit more cohesive. We'll just see how things turn out today, and we'll make decisions as we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, of course, is I'm going to put on some eyeshadow primer. And it doesn't take much, as you know. And what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to put away some things as we go, because honestly, guys, I showed it in my Snap story, but I have a tremendous amount of stuff in front of me right now and very little space to work. So, yeah, I'm going to try to drop some things in my my beauty box as I move along. Okay, and let me go ahead and put my tape away because I don't need that right now. Okay, what I want to do is I want to go into this. Oh gosh, it's so pretty. Guys, this palette is so freaking gorgeous. I can't stand it. I mean, it is so pretty. I'm gonna go in with just my typical, I could use, this is my E40, but any kind of fluffy shading brush is good. I'm going to go into, tempera. I've been hearing people call it tempera. Have you never heard of tempera paints, folks? This is, the whole point of this palette is inspired by the modern Renaissance period in art. I used to teach art. I love art history, so this is right up my alley. So a lot of these words, they have to do with either the subject of art or the period of art during which time, the Renaissance, the modern Renaissance. So I'm going to go in right here with tempera. I'm going to just kind of swirl my brush around. It always makes a mess on the, I can't stand it when it gets dirty like that, but I'll clean it when I'm done. Okay, I'm just going to kind of swirl my brush around just a little bit, knock off the extra, and I'm going to set down that primer. And guys, this may be another long one. I'm not really sure. We'll just have to wait and see. I'll edit what I can and speed up the areas where I can, but yeah. I've been having a rough couple of days, and I decided that it was time to get out of my funk, and one of the best ways for me to do that is to go to one of my two happy places. Well, besides bed. I love bed. Of course, I love to snuggle up with my baby girl. She's laying on me, beside me on the floor, and yeah, she's a mess. But anyway, I have two, other than sleeping and cuddling up with my girl, I have two places or things that I like to do. Beauty, sitting in my beauty room doing my makeup, and sitting in front of my planner and planning out my week. Those are my two favorite places to be. And so I decided that it was going to be the place that I needed to be for today. Okay, I'm going to just keep the same brush. There's no need in changing. And I'm going to go right here into this one. It's called Burnt Orange. It's actually a little bit more, it's this one. It has a lot of brown, but it does translate as orange on the eye from the tutorials that I've seen. So I just went into that. I'm knocking off the extra. I always start in the outer corner, as you know. That way, if you have a little bit too much product, it gets deposited more in the outer corner. And the reason for that is because we're going to darken up that outer corner anyway. So you won't have to worry about trying to blend out too much that you've put in the crease. And as always, if you have hooded lids like me, just go in right above the crease. Sometimes you want to, you want to go in and darken up the crease even with a hooded lid. But for this look, we're just going to kind of, we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it where it needs to be. I'm getting a lot of powder dust is kicking up on me a good bit, but that's fine. I mean, usually that's the sign of a very good quality palette. It just has so much pigment in it, it's hard for it to hold together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit more defined brush. Let's see if this, yes, this is it. This is a Morphe E28. I have new contacts in. I can see fine away, but I have to have reading glasses to see it close. That's called, my doctor said that is called birthdays. But this is my E28. It has that little bit of a point. So I'm going to, instead of it being so blown, this is going to be a little bit more of a controlled thing. I'm going to go into Rilger. I think it's the way that we pronounced it. I can't remember for sure, but I think it's either Rilger or Realger. I'm not sure. I should have checked on that. Me being such an art major and all. But yeah, I think it's Rilger or Realger. Woo! That is some pigment. Woo! Okay, but anyway, it's this one right here on the corner. It's really orange, but it's gonna make, I think, for a really pretty gradient. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of go in right in the same place, but I'm gonna be really careful and I'm gonna keep it. I can see my, as you know, I keep my head back where I can see my crease of my eyes open. I'm just gonna go right in that, right against that crease. I'm not gonna just get it all everywhere. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's a little bit more tight. I don't want to space it out everywhere. That's a beautiful color. And you wouldn't think of oranges sometimes as being truly beautiful colors on the eye, but they are. Now you can see hopefully the two different colors. I'm going to go back to my first brush and I'm just going to kind of blend that out just a little bit. You can use circular motions or you can use windshield wiper motions. It depends on your eye shape. If you have hooded lids like me, remember that you will want it to be more of a straight line rather than a windshield wiper. So that's the reason I like to do circles when I'm blending out. I'm just doing small little circles. Well, medium circles. The key here to, to this, as with any of these, is going to be blending. Anytime you're using very bright, bold colors, if you don't blend, you've got to use brushes, good brushes. You can't use sponge tip applicators to blend, and you've got to spend time. I mean, that's pretty much what it boils down to. This is not going to be one of your everyday go to work looks. This is going to be like a date night or special occasion look, in my opinion. It's going to be fairly wearable for those kinds of situations, but if you have an event or you're just going out or you're having dinner with your husband, whatever, but this is not going to be something that you're going to sit and want to do early in the morning before work. Let me just put it like that. Yeah, I think it'll be too much for you. Okay, so now what I need to do, and this is what's going to be different for me, I need to find a shader brush, and I'm going to use this one. This is the Sigma E70. Sigma E70. It's a very flat little brush. It's pointed and it's very stiff. I'm using this one because I need to be in control and I need to be able to maneuver the powder or the eye product into the corners and that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my MAC Fix Plus and I'm going to spray this a little bit just kind of wave it in the air a little bit. I'm going to go into this color called Venetian Red. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. Okay, I'm going to go into that. I'm just going to kind of go into the corner of it. Do you see what I've got here? Now, I know that looks scary, but we're just going to be really careful. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep this right on the lid. Now, because I have hooded lids, I'm going to have to keep my head back. You know, I'm going to have to be careful because we don't want it to transfer higher than what we're looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start shading this on my lid. Oh gosh, it's so pretty. I'm going to go a little bit up into the crease area just so you can see it. Okay, let me give it a little bit more. Okay. I'm being careful not to look up really high. I want this to be really vivid. That point helps me get it into this corner. Do you see what I've done now? All right, I'm gonna go and do that much to the other eye, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I've gotten both eyes covered and they're dry. I'm gonna go back in with the same precision brush, which is the one that had a little bit of a point that I went into Realgar with. And so I'm gonna go back in there. Actually, I'm not gonna put any extra product. Let me just blend it and see how it works, because it's a pretty potent color. So I'm just gonna kind of go in and blend that crease out. I do not want a strong, well, I don't want any, you know, line between the, you know, strong line between the colors. I want it to be sort of a gradient effect, an ombre, so to speak. And I'm just gonna kind of go in with this. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't put any extra on there. It's plenty. In fact, you will find that when you're working with colors that are strong like this, sometimes, like on this eye, some of the red left. So I'm gonna have to go back in and just freshen it up. But it'll just be about freshening it up is all. You see what I'm saying? It's pretty common in the blending process for some of the color to disappear. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of go with that. Let me get my flat shader brush, and I'm just gonna go in. Just a little bit more product, not much. This Venetian Red is gorgeous. Okay, this is what I have so far. Now what I'm going to do, before I do my brow bone highlight, I hope that you can see that it is a very good gradient. Even though it's a red shadow, you're gonna see, if you'll just hang on with me, you'll see how it's gonna turn out great and you're gonna love it, okay? I promise. The process sometimes doesn't look all that great, but you know, you'll see. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go off camera. I am going to use my Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I'm going to use my NYX brow gel, and then I'm going to highlight my brow bone and kind of work it out just a little bit with a brush using my Wet n Wild highlighter brow crayon. I'm going to go do all that, and I will be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. I did my eyebrows. I think I did okay. It's funny, I can work for days on this one and still not get it right, and then this one I get it right the first try. I am now going to take a smaller brush. This is a little bit more defined brush. It's an E17. You can see that it is pretty small, especially in comparison to, this is the shader brush that I started with. So it's a very small brush because I'm not going to need much. I am going to go into the color called Vermeer. I'm going to go into Vermeer, shake off the extra. This fan is blowing hair in my face. Shake off the extra. It's a gorgeous creamy satin. It's the third one over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just work on my brow bone. I just want to put a little something on there to brighten it up. And I am going down to meet the orange just a touch because I don't have a lot of lid space. If you have a tremendous amount of lid space, you might not want to do that. But since I don't, I'm okay with, I think I can get away with it. It just, you know, you use your own judgment, but I do think that you can get away with it if you have only, you know, a limited amount of space to work with. Okay, I'm going to come back with that color in a bit, but for now what I'm going to do is I am going to take this tape off. That wasn't so bad that time. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look, and if it seems like I might have any fallout, which I don't, which is wonderful. Those are the creamiest, most satiny, most wonderful colors. Okay, you can see that we have a nice sharp line on each side now. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to start working on what I need to do to my face before I do foundation. So what I have found that's been really working for me and that I really, really love is the Smashbox Color Correcting Stick. That's all it is. It's just, but I got mine in the dark orange. Now they do have like a like the one that I have in the Urban Decay. It's like a salmon color. They do have that, and supposedly, you know, I've had several people make little comments, little, you know, remarks on my video, especially when I purchased this, that said that this was not for those dark circles, that I should have gotten the lighter color. But you know, I know my needs. I know what I need, and I'd already tried the Urban Decay, and I can get away with that on, you know, a light day, a no makeup kind of day. But when I really want to conceal and I really want to hide as much of this as possible, I need the darker one because they're just that dark. And so what I've been doing, you can see here, it's just wonderful, and it comes with a sharpener, but it's wonderful for putting right here in but you only put it in the spots that you need. I'm going to put mine right here, right there in that deep crevice, and then a little bit right there. It does not take much, guys. So I'm going to put it right there and right there. Then, of course, you know that I have this darkness here, so I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of a bit here. This is so soft. If you go in too hard, you'll ruin it in your face. But yeah, seriously, it's very strong, and you don't need a lot. Now, what I'm going to do is I have a brush here. This is, let's see, let me find it. Okay, this is a Sigma E55. It's just a little flat shader brush also, but it's a little bit larger, and it's, you know, it's a little more flexible. I'm just going to kind of blend this out just a little bit. Okay, now the thing is that you don't want to blend it out too much. It will blend out and become sheer very quickly. So just barely blend it. You don't need to do much to it at all. Just put it where you need it the most. You see that I didn't put it in this area. I'm trying to avoid putting as many products under my eyes as possible. I'm just finding that as I age and as my skin gets drier, that the more I put under my eyes, the worse they look and they become crepey and that sort of thing. So, you know, you're going to have to use your own judgment with what you put, you know, under your eyes and what your needs are. But the main thing is to keep it moisturized. Use eye serums, use water-based gel eye creams, or you know, anything that you can, you know, the eye mask that is like really slimy and everything. Those things are wonderful. So, you know, definitely just, you need to keep your skin, the older you get, you need to keep it more and more hydrated. And so I'm just finding the more I keep it hydrated and the less that I actually put underneath there, the better off I am. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with my green concealer for my face. I'm going to be using my Sigma F80. It's a flat top kabuki brush. That's what I'm going to be applying my makeup with today. But I'm also going to be doing some of my concealing, and I'm just going to use the same brush and it'll be fine. So I'm just going to go in with the green in the areas that, you know, that I have the worst redness. I have a little redness around my nose, I've noticed, and a lot of that, I've been sleeping now over a month. I've been sleeping with a, what are they called? A CPAP machine. And so, yeah, I've noticed that I'm just going to kind of bounce on it just a little bit. I prefer to use my beauty blender, but my beauty blender's dirty and it's not wet, so. But you can work, you know, with a brush, and it works just fine. I have this squeakiest stool. Every time I move, it squeaks. I'm sorry, guys. And I hope that the fan is not distracting, but guys, it's hot. I know you guys understand that it's hot, but I've got all these lights on, and it's just so hot. Now, I do have a green tint. But my makeup will cover that. Okay, so let's go in with this side. I waited about this side because I didn't want it to dry on my skin. And my hair is blowing. Got a little too much that time, I think. That's okay. Well, I'll just blend and blend and blend. Might as well get a little bit of it on my nose because my nose is red too. You know, the thing about it, the way that I look at it is, it doesn't really matter what kind of look you're doing. You do need to color correct. If you have issues like I have, or you have issues that just bother you, go ahead and color correct those issues. I mean, all it's going to do is make you look better, fresher. I mean, you know, of course, I look dead right now. I've got a green hue and I've got all this orange around my eyes. So I look like I'm, you know, back from the dead and ready to, you know, tap a vein with somebody, you know. I look like I'm a vampire, but, you know, nobody has to see you in this stage. So you do what you have to do and it's all good. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I've already shaken my foundation, but I'm using my Born This Way from Too Faced, and I'm using it, it's in nude. I shook it some. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of put a couple of squirts on my hand. I think a couple of squirts should work. I'm just going to kind of go in with my brush, and I'm going to start brushing this in. Kind of tap it in. It's better to work the center of the face first. It's just become one of my habits. I seem to just do want to make sure I don't cover those brows I just did. But yeah, I mean, you know, this way you can, you know, I'm doing this for a full coverage heavy look. I want to really make sure that I'm getting as much coverage from this as I possibly can. If you want to have a more sheer, less makeup-y look, then I mean, you know, because this is all going to settle down anyway. But if you want a more, or less, I should say, if you want a less makeup-y look, then use your beauty blender. Now, I'm not going to be getting my makeup under my eye on that concealer. I don't want that layer there. And if you're doing this with me, you can use your beauty blender. This is just the first time for me to get into this palette, and I'm really excited. So I thought I would do just a full glam look with it, you know, as I'm working on my eyes. I thought I would go ahead and make my face match. But of course, you do not have to go to all the steps or do the amount of, you know, foundation and coverage that I'm doing. I'm just choosing to do this. I'm thinking about maybe going shopping when I get through here. And I mean, I just may walk right on up in Target or Michael's or Hobby Lobby or someplace full face. The one thing that you do not want to forget is your jawline and your ear. You need to go into the edge of your hair and make sure you buff out so you do not have that demarcation line, because if you have that, it is going to look terrible. Okay, I'm using my my cloth to get the extra makeup off my hand. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my ears off for just a minute, and I'm just going to kind of make sure that I didn't get any on my hairline, because if I did, you know, it'll make it look funny. I've already styled my hair, but I mean, you know, I'll put some salt spray in it, or, you know, something like that to give it a little texture and bring it back up again, and it'll be fine. I just needed to make sure that I didn't mess it up too bad. It's better to go ahead and stop and check the, like now at this stage, than wait till it dries. Okay, foundation is now on, so it's time to do our concealing. And so I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay Naked Skin in Light Warm. I tend to have, you know, warm undertones, and so I am going to go in. I have something, so I'm going to go in with this. I like this because it gives a lot of coverage without, it's very thin, but it provides a tremendous amount of coverage, so I like that. Okay, I'm going to start right there, and I'm going to come down beside my nose. I'm going to go up this way, and the reason that I'm going up and filling in is we're trying to take, if you don't, then what you're doing is you're bringing your eye down. I went ahead and got my beauty blender wet because I knew that I would really need it for this part. I don't do well with brushes. So you're just gonna start bouncing. You're gonna let the product work for you. I've told you that before. But just bounce and it will bounce out. And you need to go down the side of your nose. If you have a nose that is either, if it's not totally straight, or it's a little too wide for you, this will also help by going up on the side of your nose right here. That will help make your nose appear more narrow. Can you see the difference? I hope that you can in the camera. I hope that you can see the difference in the before and after. I mean, it's still deep, so it's going to shadow. But if you can't see the shadow, can you see that the color has been corrected? That's what's so wonderful about the color correcting crayon. It does a great job. And if you're not really sure how far to come down, I would say go up the side there and come down sort of on top of the apple of your cheek. You know, the where your apple of your bone actually starts. But I've just learned as of lately that my eyes just look so much better and my nose looks better when I just come down on each side and go up on the side of my nose just a little bit. It narrows it. And so yeah, I've just been finding, I've seen several people do it, and since I've been doing it on my own, I really do feel as though it's helped. Okay, now I'm going in with my NARS. This is the translucent crystal powder. Now, if you have to cover up and you do a lot of concealing under your eyes, you always need to set under your eyes with a loose powder and set the rest of your face with a powder like the Rimmel Stay Matte, which I'll use in a minute. So let's go in with the Beauty Blender. I'm going to just kind of go in with the point of this, and I'm going to pick up some of this, and I'm just going to kind of blot it. We're going to let it, quote, bake for just a minute. Go down the side of my nose. I did not put any concealer anywhere else, but honestly, I don't feel like I need it today. I do like I've been baking and I got a hand. But I mean, I did not highlight. I usually highlight the whole, you know, down my nose, in between my brows and my chin, because you want to bring light to the center of your face, especially if you have a round face like me. I didn't do that today because I really didn't feel like I really needed it, because the foundation that I'm using was just a touch light for me already. So I didn't want to lighten my face even further. Okay, so we're just going to let that sit there for just a minute. Now what we're going to do while we're waiting on that to do its thing, we're going to go back to the palette, this beautiful, beautiful palette. I'm going to go back to the palette. Now I'm going to get just like a little pencil brush, something that's really, really small. And I'm going to go into Vermeer, which is what we used on the brow bone. I'm going to get some of that. I'm going to knock it off. And I'm going to go into the corner of my eye and just do a little bit of inner corner brightening. This is such a beautiful color. I love it. It's such a pretty color. And I may end up, you know, doing a little bit more once I get this dust off my face. Let me get the dust off my face and we'll move on from there. Just dust it away. It really is that easy, guys. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Stay Matte. It's a wonderful brush, and I'm just going to set the rest of my face. Any places that have foundation need to be set. So I'm just setting these right now. Down the center of my nose. Okay, after you have finished all of that, I've moved my mirror a little bit closer. I hope it's not disturbing to you guys. All right, what I'm going to do I have the Urban Decay 24/7 Waterline Eye Pencil. It just looks like this. And I have it in the color Rail, R-A-I-L. It is a very dark brown. Okay, I'm gonna get it off my hand because it sets very quickly. I don't want to go anywhere with swatches all over me. I've done it before. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tight line, and then I'm going to waterline, and then I'm going to bring it down into my lash line just a touch, and then we're going to go in with that dark brown color in the palette, and we're going to blend it all together. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm back, guys. I got it done. I used the Cypress Umber, the color in that palette, and I tight lined with my Urban Decay pencil, waterlined, and then I went into the lash line just a little bit, and then I smoked it out with a pencil brush and that shadow. So now I'm trying to hydrate lemon water, which is really good for you to stay hydrated, not just this time of year, but even in the winter. And I put fresh lemon juice in my water. I don't put enough to really taste, but it's really good for my bladder health. So as you get older and you start having more bladder problems, that's what you need to do. Cranberry juice has sugar in it. It's natural sugar, but it's sugar, and you don't want sugar in your bladder if you have bladder issues. So lemon water, it works. It tastes good too. Now it is time for me to do a little contouring. I'm going to go in with my Shade and Light palette. Now I'm going to be doing my next basics video before too much longer, and we're going to cover highlighting and contouring the face because it can be tricky, and there are some rules, especially when it comes to the products that you use and that sort of thing. I happen to have this. This is my favorite. This is just what I use, and the reason that I like it so much is because it's a cool tone. All three of these are a nice cool tone. That's what you need, and you need a brush that kind of has a little bit of an angle to it, like that right there. And this brush you can purchase along with this. You don't have to purchase this particular one. You can buy one, like I have this one from Morphe that would work just the same. This one here from the deluxe brush from It Cosmetics would work the same. This one just came with it, so that's the one I'm going to use. Okay, so I do like to mix the two colors, knock it off just a little bit, and then I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to make a little bit of a contour line. What I'm trying to do is I'm creating a shadow where there isn't one. And you see that I'm not going very far into my face. I'm keeping it pretty tight against my ear. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Now we need to decide what blush we're going to use. I think that I want to go, I have not gotten a whole lot of use out of this Makeup Geek. Let me see, let me look at the color. Oh yeah, this is going to be really pretty with this look. It is called Covet, and I got it in a BoxyCharm, and it is beautiful. It's full size. It's in a beautiful compact. I'm just going to swirl my domed brush around. And then what I'm going to do is I am not going to go directly on the apples of my cheeks because they're so close to my nose. Okay, so I'm going to kind of take it back just a hair, you know, and I'm going to continue what I've been doing as far as I get it on there, because this is very pigmented. I've learned the hard way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back. And it does not take much. I'm barely touching the skin with my brush. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish my blush application. Then I'm going to take my big brush and I'm going to blend, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I did blend it, and I blended pretty hard because the blush was just a little bit too heavy for me on this side. If I wanted a stronger contour, and we'll talk about that, I don't want a stronger contour today, but if I did, I can either go in with some loose powder and clean this up, add a little bit more and then go in and clean it up, but I'm happy with it for the day. I'm happy with the way that it looks. My eyes are speaking for themselves. So yeah, I mean, I just want my eyes to be the statement, and so I'm going to be okay with that. Now we need a highlighter, and I'm going to go in with my Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to use because of the colors on my eyes, I'm going to go with the gold, which is Prosecco Pop. It's this one, the top one here. And I have my handy dandy Morphe E8. And I'm going to just go into that. I'm going to swirl it just a little bit, knock it off. And I'm going to really do a controlled application here. I can get kind of messy around wherever the point or the highest point of your brow is. You're going to want to kind of make a C around that just to brighten that up. This time of year is so fun, especially for highlighting. Okay, all right, I really love that. It's a little more subtle. I normally like a really strong, and I mean, you know, it's got its own strength. It's just not as strong as, like, you know, Champagne Pop or the Wet n Wild that I love or anything like that. But I didn't want to go in that hard with those things. Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to go in with my eyelash curlers and go ahead and curl my eyelashes. Be careful and don't pinch yourself. I do like to curl them twice. My bottom lash got caught that time. Okay, I'm going to be using the Tarte, it's Lights Camera Flashes. It's the one in the gold. I've really been enjoying this sample that I got, and yeah, I think it's a great product. It's really easy. I love the wand on it. It's really spiky and it grabs the lashes really well. I get volume and length with this product. So I'm just going to apply 2 layers on each eye. I have 2 layers on my lashes. Do you see how pretty the eye turns out? It is a bold look, and it may not be for everyone. I now have finished my eyes. I think that it's really, really pretty. It reminds me of a sunset. I just really like the way that it looks. It is a bold look. It's very different. But you know what? Sometimes we need to step out of our box and we need to try new things. And I love this palette because you have all kinds of opportunities for that with this palette. The red is not something I've ever done before, but I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. I just think it almost is a burgundy at this point because of the blending. It changes when you add other colors to it, but I think that it's a really pretty gradient. I think that it's a really pretty look. So now what I'm going to do for my lips, they've been moisturizing. I'm going to use my Rimmel Exaggerate. I'm just going to give myself a little bit of a line. Okay, I lined my lips, and yes, it's a little bit pink. That's fine though. I'm going to give myself a blot to get off any excess. I have this little sample here. It is from Bare Minerals, and it is the Moxie. I've heard a lot about this, and I've never even tried it. It's a teeny tiny little cutesy tube, but it's a really pretty nude, and so I thought with a little bit of a pink underneath, it would really go well and complement my eyes. So that's what we're gonna try and see if it works. So let's see. What do you think, guys? I love it. This is a pretty color. I know I've heard a lot of people talk about it over the last year or two, but it's just Bare Minerals, and it says Moxie. Oh, okay, it's the Moxie line. The color is Make Your Move. Okay, well guys, I made my move. I got off of my duff, and I decided that I would film for you guys today. I hope that you like this look. I think it would be a really pretty look to do any time that you're feeling daring, or even just when you want something just different because you're tired of the same old, same old. So guys, I really like the way it turned out, and I hope that you like it too. Please don't forget, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and be sure and subscribe if you're new to my channel. I would love to have you join my family. I'm 3 away from 200 subscribers. I can't believe that. I'm so excited, and 200 was my personal goal. If I make 200, I'm going to be really, really excited. If I get beyond 200, that'll be great too. But I really do think that 200 is a good personal goal for someone that is my age, doing YouTube, planning and beauty, those kinds of things. I think that's pretty good. So I have met some beautiful people while on YouTube and in the planning and beauty communities, and I really enjoy it. It's my happy place. So I want to say thank you to you guys that have been so supportive and have befriended me, and that's going to be it, guys. So yeah, guys, this is the end of my video. I hope that you have a great evening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.